a couple individuals that weren't able to make it. So there he is. Let me put you on the spotlight. There you are. What's up, Kip?
Hello, Damien. How are you?
What's up, friend? Mr. Kip Mangira is at $1.1 million in the sales. Went to Wright State University, and he is in the Cutco Hall of Fame. Won the Rolex, means he sold over $225,000 in 1 year. He's the #1 highest dollar per order sales result in the Fair and Show team. He has won the Marty Dimitrovich distinction, which recognizes people that have high integrity within our company. Biggest results. He has 3 career $10,000 days, one $14,000 day, and he has a $750 average order size. He has also had 9 weeks that he has sold $5,000, 12 weeks where he sold $10,000, 3 over 15, 1 over 20, 1 over 25, 1 over 30, and 1 over 40, and 1 week where he personally sold $55,000. Qualified for $1 million and 1 Cutco customer company trips. One of the things I like about Kip is that he always loves to help people. So I'm going to go ahead and stop screen sharing here so we can kind of get a chance and opportunity to see you, sir. And I'm going to turn over the floor to you, talking about how to have fun on your demos and big average order size. We got Mr. Kip. If everybody can go again and give him a thumbs up, give him some love. The floor is yours, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. What a beautiful introduction. Thank you for the kind words and making me look way cooler than I actually am. Hey, I'm excited to be here with you guys. Hello, Lone Star Division. Thank you for having me. San Marcos District. I like to interact during my messages. And so for those of you that are not on video, if you can be, I would appreciate it. If you are driving or are unable to be, I understand. But if you 3 individuals that are not on video are able to turn that on so that you can be with us today, that would be fantastic. So as I was thinking about what I wanted to share today and kind of what has made a difference for me that could also make a difference for you, it came down to one thing, and that is mindset. And I believe that the most important thing that helps us as sales reps sell big is our mindset. And having the right mindset is what has helped me raise my average order to over $700. And so the purpose of this message is to share some points and nuggets with you that can help you cultivate the right mindset as well. Now, if you are getting value during this message, I want to know about it. So if you hear a tip or a nugget that you're excited about, or anything that you think you want to implement, go ahead and post in the chat what that nugget is, along with hashtag Kip Tips. So that way the group knows and I know if and when you're getting value. Now, when it comes to mindset, if you believe that you're going to sell big, you are much more likely to do so. So the purpose of this message is to show you why it makes sense for you to believe that you can and will sell big on every appointment. And there are 3 points that I'm going to share with you today, along with a bonus tip if you'd like to hear. Now, in order to have the right mindset, it helps to realize why people buy Cutco. That's the first tip. People buy Cutco because they like it and it improves their kitchen experience, not because they need it. When I started, customers would tell me they don't need knives. And when I showed up to one of my PCs meetings with my manager, and I told him that's what I was hearing, my assistant manager in the office, Josh Jones, taught me that not needing knives does not equal not buying. In general, people don't buy things because they need it, unless it's food, water, or shelter, which is the only things that we really need as humans. We usually buy things because they improve our quality of life. And I think that we can all agree that Cutco improves the quality of our lives. Just ask any Cutco customer and they'll tell you how much Cutco improves the quality of their lives. The second thing that helps with mindset is understanding that selling a set of Cutco is a win-win-win situation. The first person who wins is you. If you're brand new and you sell a $1,000 set, you just made $100 in less than an hour. But if you're over 10K in career sales And in the Dirty 30 Club, you could sell that same $1,000 set and make $300 in less than an hour. If that's something that you'd be excited about, put hashtag brain surgeon money in the chat, so I know that you're excited about that. Now, if you're brand new and you'd be excited about brain surgeon money, make sure that you talk to your manager about the fastest way to get to Dirty 30. The second person that wins when you sell a set is, of course, your manager and your team as a whole. In the 8 years that I've been doing this, what I found is the more sets that are sold, the more prizes your manager can give away, and the more trips that we have an opportunity to earn. Also, the more sets that are sold, the more championships that you can all celebrate at your next conference. Now, if you'd be really excited about prizes and championships, go ahead and throw in the chat hashtag winners win. So that way I know that you're excited about that. The third person that wins, and probably the most important person when you sell a set, is the customer. I do a lot of appointments with people who already own Cutco. Go ahead and raise your hand for me if you've ever done an appointment with somebody that owns Cutco already. Now, keep your hand up if you've done an appointment with somebody that owns a set of Cutco, while also having done, maybe some appointments with people that only own a couple pieces, like maybe they bought a Kitchen Classics, right? So you've had an opportunity to do both. Who is happier usually, right? We all know this. And so usually when I ask somebody who owns a few pieces of Cutco what they think about them, they say great knives. When I ask someone who owns a set of Cutco what they think, they could go on and on for 30 minutes about how much they love the knives, how they got started with the set, who came over to their house, the whole story. And so it's our responsibility to help create that happy experience for our customers. Because bad knives are like an infection, and Cutco is the vaccine to all of our customers' kitchen problems. Now, the third thing that helps with mindset is understanding that $1,000 is not a lot to spend for most people. Every single day, there are people buying things that are more expensive than a homemaker set because they believe it improves their quality of life. A few common products that cost near as much or more than a set of Cutco are Roombas, guns, or iPhones. Now, raise your hand if you have an iPhone and put in the chat hashtag Team Apple if you're an iPhone or iPad user. Now, after you pay for the warranty, yeah, Jacob, cool. Yeah, same here. What I've noticed is when I go to the Apple Store or Verizon, Morgan, awesome. I noticed that after the warranty, all the charging cords, the screen protector, you're well over $1,000 for an iPhone. And you know what's crazy? We go back to the Apple Store every 2 years and we do it again. Now, Apple executives are probably salivating somewhere in their offices right now because they know you'll keep coming back every few years, right? And just like you and I, we have customers. You have done demos with people who are also Team Apple. And when they combine the cost of their iPhones and probably the iPhones that they're going to spend for all of their family, like if they have children, they're probably going to spend over $10,000 over the course of a lifetime on iPhones and iPads for themselves and their families. What makes me so excited to represent this product is that a $1,000 investment in Cutco today will be of value for the customer's family for generations to come. And I have the mindset that if my customers can be on Team Apple, there is no reason why they shouldn't be on Team Cutco. Now, I have one last bonus tip for you guys. If you'd like me to share this bonus tip, go ahead and put hashtag bonus in the chat. Cool. Megan, Jacob, Gracie. Awesome. So this is a bonus tip that you may have heard before, but for anybody who hasn't, I wanted to bring it up. As mentioned before, your customers are spending $1,000 on things all the time that are improving the quality of their life. But for those customers who are not spending $1,000 all the time, they might prefer to use our Easy Pay program. Keep in mind that a homemaker set is only $13.26 plus tax. And the payment plan on that set extends to over 120 days. So the bonus tip for the mindset, which is the focus of this talk, is knowing that the Homemaker Plus 8 is only $11.05 a day. Now, this math isn't something that you need to tell your customers, but it is something that you can keep in mind and should give you confidence, because most of our Mac customers, people who are married within the age group that we're shooting for and own a home, can afford $11.05 each day. Understand that your customers have the money to go to Starbucks. They have the money to go to Chipotle. And so it's up to you and me to help them realize why this is the best place for them to put it. In closing, guys, realize that your mindset will be a huge factor as to how many sets that you sell. So I invite and encourage you to believe that you will sell big. Remember that selling big is a win-win-win situation, and normalize the $1,000 price point because it's not abnormal for your customers, so it shouldn't be for you. Thanks.
Dude, that was the most fun talk I think I've ever hear you give.
Thank you. This is the first time I've given a message here.
That was awesome. I love that. Thank you so much, man. Kip, do you have a couple of minutes for any questions that anybody might have?
Absolutely.
So what are your guys' questions? Some of you guys are brand new, just started this weekend. Some of you guys have been in it for a while. Kip has overcome a lot of adversities. You can get to know him a little bit better at some point if you'd like. But what are some of your questions that you guys have that you want to learn about?
Do we have the number on the what your highest number of sales was in one day?
How many sales in one day that he made?
Yeah, like what's the highest number of sales in one day?
In between 14 and 15,000, but I don't have the dollar amount.
Excuse my cursive. How in the hell did you do that?
So I really focused on knowing my scripts. It's probably the first thing. Understanding what package and program to suggest for the customer. And then there was some luck involved with that as well, of course, because every customer I talked to that day was ready to buy. And so it was really just a matter of me showing up and being my best self. It's like, and so it was a little bit of luck, a little bit of skill, but it was definitely showing up with the right intention, understanding that everybody is able to and can spend $2,000 to $3,000 if they have it. They should spend it on Cutco. So mindset was a big thing. Scripts was a big thing, and then luck was also a little bit of that as well. I had 2 or 3 customers bundle flatware and cookware on that day, and so that boosted up pretty quick when you have back to back 3K orders and then a few upgrades, a few homemakers, and before you know it, you're at 14 grand.
It's awesome. Next question. What do you want to know? Tips from the Kip.
Are you still in college or no?
I am not. I graduated in 2017.
Okay. So since the script has a lot of like school detailing, like did you change the script as the years have gone by since you're not in school anymore?
I have, and I've worked with my mentors and managers over the years to help me make that adjustment. And so if you are out of school, I would schedule a call with your manager, and they can help you make that adjustment.
Okay, thank you.
Pleasure. But it'll be centered around your personal goals. and dreams. And so identifying what your big why is, you know, and doing an activity that has 50 layers of why can be powerful, even 10 layers of why, to find out what that moving thing that you want to share with your clients is going to be. And once you have that, you can just replace the school thing with that.
Great question.
Mhm.
Any other questions? What are you wanting to know about? What are you wanting to ask? What's a challenge that you have that you're trying to overcome and you're not sure how to overcome it? Kip's the master of overcoming challenges.
I feel like I really should be asking like 20 questions right now at once, but I don't know what to like. Nothing's coming to my mind, and I can't decide what to ask first. I guess I don't know. What would be like your number one tip to suggest for like really busy moms that don't want to spend a whole lot of time on the demonstration and really just want to wrap it up quick, I guess?
I would let them know how long it's going to take on the phone. Is that something that you guys do?
Yeah.
Okay. If you are confidently setting the expectation that in order to receive your your compensation, they just, all you need, excuse me, is 45 minutes. Or how long is it? Just curious. Is it an hour? Is it
Yeah, like
90 minutes?
hour 10 minutes max, I guess.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so if you let them know, like the average appointment takes about an hour on average. Sometimes it's shorter, sometimes it's longer, but it's about an hour on average. One time I did an appointment with a woman who brought her sister, and they decided to have wine on, during the appointment. And so that took 90 minutes. And so, I'll say that on the phone, I'll tell the customer like, hey, it's usually shorter, sometimes longer. One example of it being longer is, and then they laugh, and then you've kind of taken their guard down, and they think it's funny. And then when you show up to the appointment, usually they're not in a hurry because they understand how much time they need to block out. Another thing that's helped me is when they're writing it down on their calendar or refrigerator or wherever you're having them write it down when you're on the phone with them, have them put the beginning and the end time. And so when I tell customers, go ahead and put down that we're going to be live on Zoom, Thursday, April 22nd from 5 to 6 p.m. or 5 p.m., pause, to 6 p.m. And then if you have any questions or problems, here's my phone number or whatever you want to tell them. So then they have a really clear understanding of how much time they need to block out. Because sometimes somebody's going to show up and they're in a hurry. And when I was doing demos, I would just try to speak as quickly as I possibly could. And I have sold homemakers like in 20 minutes before, because they liked it, they could afford it, and so it's just me kind of just talking. I don't prefer to do it that way though. Now that I'm working with clients who already own Cutco now and providing a sharpening service. And so if they hop on and they're like, yeah, we don't have an hour, I'm like, okay, let's find a new time.
Cool. All right. Thank you, Kip.
My pleasure.
Cool. Anybody else with any final couple of questions? Take advantage.
Colton, do you have any follow-up questions on that?
Yeah.
Like
how do you
19 of them?
overcome this mindset of like, if you hit a wall of not like having like people like replying to you, or like not having a success in like booking appointments? What's your mindset on that? Like, how would you turn it around?
And so you are calling them and they are not picking up the phone?
They're more like how do I say it? I text them sometimes, like, because they prefer texting for some reason. But then some of them are like, oh, like my parents doesn't speak the language, or I'm not interested basically. And I'm basically kind of hitting a wall, and then I'm kind of in a short list of people to call basically.
Hmm.
How would you overcome that?
Sure,
It's
sure.
kind of like a mindset thing too.
Hmm. So just to clarify, you're reaching out to your friends to potentially ask them for, their parents' phone number to be referred to their parents. And they're the ones that you're having trouble, getting a hold of, not the actual clients, right?
Yeah, mostly they're like acquaintance or friends.
Hmm.
But sometimes it's like parents, but then
Hmm.
they're like, oh, I already have Cutco, or they just like, I'm not interested.
Hmm. Hmm. Sure. So when it comes to mindset, just to answer your overall question, the first thing that you want to think about is, you know, how bad do you want to be successful? And if you truly want to achieve the goals that you've set out for yourself, however many appointments that is, right? Then eventually you'll find a way. Now, what is that way, right? Um, the solution, I've always been taught, make more calls and do more demos. And so diving really deep into your list and finding out who else you haven't written down yet. Who are those people, the coaches, the teachers, the people that you might not have talked to, barbers in years, that are within that 30 to 60 age group that might qualify for a demo that you could call. And then in the realm of reaching out to friends for parents' numbers, I had the same experience when I was in my first summer. I think I had like 1,000 friends on Facebook from my high school. I messaged all of them, and I got like 30 people that sent me their parents' numbers, and the other like 970 just like laughed at me.
Hold on a second.
But
You
what was
said you messaged all of them.
Yes, all of them. Yes, like people were screenshotting and posting my messages, telling everybody else to like tell me to screw off. But those 30 that gave me their parents' numbers started my business, because my parents are from Kenya, so they don't have any friends or family in the area. So my parents gave me our neighborhood directory, and I called my neighbors and I called my friends' parents. And so that's basically how I started. And I knew that I needed a certain number of, names and numbers in order to get those first appointments that I had committed to setting up for that first week. And so I was just going to keep messaging until I got the number that I needed. And then I called those people, and, about half of them said, okay, you can come over and do a demo. And then, you know, for the first like 10, I sucked at getting referrals, and then I realized how to do that correctly. And then, I started getting an average of 10 on every appointment. And so it's a fun challenge to tackle, but you grow through that over time. But yes, I messaged everybody because I didn't have anybody, so I needed to get people.
It's awesome.
Hmm.
Have you guys messaged everybody? You know what everybody means, right? It means every person.
Yeah,
Not one person didn't get a message.
right.
100%. The people that you're scared to message, the people you're confident to message, the people that are on your chicken list, the people that are on your, I don't even think they're going to ever respond to me. Even after you started getting made fun of, you still kept doing it.
Hmm.
How do you
Yeah.
do that? How do you stay positive?
And you can add like a little line at the beginning, like, hey, I know we haven't talked in a while, ... or something like that, just to handle the feeling of like, why is this person messaging me? Like I would put like in the message from people that I haven't even had a class with in 6 years, like since middle school at the time. I would say, hey, I know we haven't talked in a while. Or like, hey, I'm not sure that we know each other, but we're friends on here, and I just had a question for you. ... And then I just paste whatever my manager gave me to send. And it was something like, I'm I started a new job to gain some business experience, and I have to do practice appointments with people over the age of 30 in order to, complete appointments or something like that. And so,
Yep.
would it be all
Sounds
right
a
if
lot like the approach we use.
yeah, so would it be all right if I gave your mom a call? What's your mom's number? It was very basic and probably could have been better because I had a really low percentage of people that that said, yes, here's my mom's number. But I did it. I just went through and I didn't have the fastest start. I only sold 3 grand, but it snowballed. I ended up selling about 33,000 in the first 8 weeks.
Yeah. Any other questions before we let you go, Kip? Last one. Thank you for everyone that has been asking a couple questions.
Yes, Gracie.
So what is like? You said you've been doing this for 8 years, right?
8 years in June. So
Wow,
7 years and 10 months.
that's amazing. What is the one thing that you feel like you've taken out of this that's really changed your life personally?
Probably the scope of what I identify as success. And that has come from the people that I've been blessed to be surrounded by default of selling this product. And so you may not have been to an event yet. You might be invited to one coming up soon. But you talk to the Stacey Campbells of the world, and the Lloyd Reagans, and Damians of the world, and it's just it's really changed my perspective on what can be accomplished and the impact that I can have. And so that's probably the biggest difference that I've had personally. We have people that sold Cutco. You probably are aware of the podcast, right? That are writing books, that are speaking on international stages, that have started multiple companies, serial entrepreneurs. And so, it's just blown me away and still does every day when I just think about like the potential that I have, So
Awesome, man.
mhm.
Let's give Mr. Kip a round of applause. You guys are unmuted or muted. Kip, thank you so much for your time. I greatly appreciate you every time you offer to help, and you're always the first person that always offers. So thank you, friend. I appreciate you.
My pleasure. Is that woman related to you?
Which one?
The one with your last name?
That's my niece.
Okay, gotcha. Cool. I just noticed that. Cool.
Yeah, Florencia is my niece. She started selling Cutco in January.
Wonderful. All right. Well, I hope that you all have a fantastic 2021. I hope you win the day, win the week, win the month, and win the year. And I look forward to hearing from your manager on how many sets you are selling due to your newfound mindset from now on.
Right. Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye.
All right. So, one thing that you're going to need to learn is that you never know what somebody's capable of, right? Let me share with you something about Kip that he didn't share with you. That's Kip. He's paralyzed. What's really interesting is that he doesn't really talk about it. When he sends me a bio, he doesn't include that in his bio, that he can't walk, that he uses that tool to get around, that he's been paralyzed since he was born. And before the pandemic, before virtual demos, he would go to customers' houses in that tool, in that machine. And sometimes if they didn't have steps, he would have to crawl over the steps and bring his wheelchair in because he didn't like people to help him, because he said, I can do it. and he would wheel himself live to appointments. It's just a great testament that don't ever let your current scenario determine who you are. You determine who you are. And I wanted to share this after he jumped off because I wanted you guys to get the full scope of what this dude really is before realizing that this guy is a freaking superhero in my mind. This summer, he had a $50,000 SC2 push, 3 weeks of sales. He sold $50,000. You want to know how he did it? It was all with his own past customers. He hired somebody to go pick up the cutlery that he had already sold him and then drive it back to his own house where he would on Zoom do a sharpening process and a Cutco virtual demo. And then he would put the Cutco in a UPS and he would ship it back to each customer. He ran a business. Man runs a business. He is a businessman. Like I said, I'm forever motivated and inspired by Kip, not because of his circumstance, but because of how big his vision is of what he can accomplish. Not trying to share that to make you feel guilty, but I just want to let you know, whatever you think you can accomplish, you can accomplish. And I think that's really powerful. Wanted to go ahead and